Celebrating a woman who works at the self-checkout at the Stop and Shop. I have encountered this woman several times. Let me tell you something about myself to frame this. When I am going through the self-checkout, which is the only way I go, as someone who could be on the spectrum, could be OCD, just could be just a jerk. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but when I'm going through that self-checkout, it is in my mind, can I go faster than I've ever gone before? How fast can I go? I am acutely aware of every single moment in life is slipping away. And the more time you spend checking out of the grocery store, well, you cannot get that time back. So, way to use your time for other things is to get through that thing as just quickly as possible, smoothly as possible, elegant, sophisticated movements. So I've encountered her many, many times now. There's another guy who works there who he seems to be completely disconnected from everything. So the look on his face is just he doesn't want to have to come over there to help with anything. But this woman, the opposite. She wants to come over and help with stuff. Now I don't know if there's something going on with her. That's not for me to say, and I'm not placing any judgment. Like I said, I'm celebrating this woman, and here's why. So today, there she was, and as I walked up, she immediately saw I had two bagels, and she's like, "Do you know how to do the bagel?" I was like, "Yeah." I kind of glided on past. It wasn't rude, but I kind of glided on past just to be like, to give that vibe, like, oh, I'm just like barely stopping to do the checkout. So just, because I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with her. Like, I don't know if she understands those social cues. And frankly, sometimes I don't understand social cues. And when I say sometimes, I mean most of the time. So, I indicated, yeah, I know how to do the bagels. And then she then she said, "Oh, you're an expert. You're one of our good customers. You're an expert." And I wasn't triggered by that or anything, but I was like, let's go for it. It's, I want to know more. So I was like, well, what qualifies me as an expert? And she said, well, you're here all the time. And, she seems to be just taken aback. I'm just putting words in her mouth. She said something like, you're here all the time and you know what you're doing or whatever. But I think she might have been taken aback that I said, what qualifies me as an expert? I did not say it with any kind of tone. It was literally like wanting to engage her. I was like, let's go. This is your world. This is your world. Let's go. I want to know. So she said, well, you're here all the time and you don't have to ask any questions. And I said, is that what makes someone an expert? They just don't have to ask questions. I was like, that seems like a pretty low bar. And then she replied, that's weird, which blew my mind. I'm like, she's calling me weird for like, I was like, okay, well, okay. So I wanted to kind of keep going. I didn't react to being weird. I just found it funny that she said it. So I said, I was like, I think it should be a higher standard to be considered an expert. And she didn't really respond to that, but then saw I took an onion out of the bag to ring in next. And I immediately, because I'm an expert, I immediately started looking for that little sticker with the number, because I know that if you just punch the number in, you don't have to look it up or anything. So as I am lifting the onion to my face to look at it, she says, there's a number on there. And I said, I know, I'm an expert. I know there's a number on there. And then I said to her, one way to qualify someone as an expert, you might want to consider, this could be a qualification of an expert, is if they already know the number. And I will tell you that I have been in other grocery stores where just as I was checking out, different kind of checkout person, like they weren't in my face, but they could just see that I was trying to find the number and just said the number out. They didn't go like, hey, mister, or walk over or anything. It just said 4094, which I now believe is the yellow onion number because I've engaged in this whole thought process about it. So she said, well, I do know the number. I do have it memorized. I was like, okay, well, there you go. I was like, you are an expert, so you obviously know it. So I was like, you might want to think about like that being the standard, that they have to know the numbers off the top of their head. No real reaction there. I think there's, something up, but she thinks I'm weird. I think, I don't think she's weird, but I think, there's something going on. So she must think, well, there's something going on with this guy. When I see this guy the next time, I'm going to be like, that's that expert doofus or something. So I finished my checkout, and then I thought we had some little bit of a connection there. So as I'm walking out, I said, "Have a good day, bye." Nothing, not a look, not a nothing. But just so you remember, the number for Yellow Onion, I believe, is 4094. The next time you're in a Stop and Shop, maybe they're standard. They might be standard across all grocery stores. The next time you're in a grocery store and buying an onion, 4094, baby. Well, Mr. Smart Guy back here with you half an hour later with this cliffhanger reveal that it was not 4094 on a yellow onion. It is 4093, which drives the point home once again and leaves me to celebrate this woman in all her glory, that she knows those numbers and I do not. So when I do see her again, I will bring up the fact that I did not remember the number, and she did, and I am no expert, and she will likely call me weird again, and I will say, ma'am, you're talking to a weirdo.